Alright everybody, it's time for my brand new LP of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I love the original Crash Team Racing. I spent so many hours playing it as a kid. Very, very excited to finally dip my toes into this. So, yeah. With that in mind, it is just a nice, faithful adaptation of the original game with no nasty surprises or anything involved, so... There's our boy in his nice new HD kind of redesign. Look at him, that big grin on his face. Alright, let's do this. Let's go. Oh. Okay. Okay, before we start, I just have to have a quick little read of this. Activision Software, License and Service Agreement. Note, scroll through to review and accept the license agreement. Important notice for residents in North America only. Well, it doesn't apply to me, but whatever. This agreement is subject to binding arbitration and a waiver of class action rights as detailed in section 16 below. Software License and Service Agreement. Use of this software program, and any updates, any online services, or downloads associated herewith, the software, including firmware, or any related peripherals, collectively peripheral, the associated media, printed materials, and documentation, collectively program, is subject to this software license and service agreements. I'm glad that they're clarifying the shortened terms they'll be using. If you are under the age of majority in your jurisdiction of 18, that is 18 years of age, whichever is older, please ask your parent or guardian to read and accept this agreement on your behalf before you use the program. Well, I am 28, so I think I'm safe on that one. By opening this package, downloading, installing, or using the program, or clicking to accept, you accept the terms of this agreement with the Activision corporate entity set out in section 17. Really jumping the gun here. I haven't even got to these later sections yet. Activision. Oh, that's what Activision refers to. Depending on where you acquired and used the program. If you do not agree to these terms, you are not permitted to install, copy, or use the program. Bit of a rip-off of 60 quid. To reject these terms, you must not click to accept these terms or install, copy, or use the program. Let's have a look at these terms. There can't be that many. For residents in North America only. I'm not even in North America, and this is the PAL version of the game, so why would you even have this information in my EULA? For residents in North America only, if you reject this agreement, you can return your peripheral and the program and request a refund for your peripheral and the program within 30 days after the date of your purchase by calling 310-255-2000 in North America or visiting http://support.activision.com. Activision's privacy policy available at http://www.activision.com/legal/privacy policy shall be deemed to be part of the agreement accepted and agreed to by you, and the terms of such are incorporated herein by reference. God, I love this wacky children's game about an orange marsupial driving a go-kart. For residents outside North America, okay, this is me, if you, or if applicable, your parent or guardian, do not agree to this agreement, then you must not use or access the program or any part thereof. By clicking to accept, you represent and warrant that you are a natural person, as opposed to a robot, who is over the age of 18, or whose legal guardian has accepted and agreed to this agreement. If you reject this agreement, your return rights in relation to the program are governed by your statutory rights in the country where you bought the program. Please visit http://support.activision.com. Nothing in this paragraph shall affect your statutory rights. Please note that your rights in respect of online services and service-provided content are covered in sections 12 and 13. Your use of the program shall be subject to the terms of Activision's privacy policy, available at http://www.activision.com/legal/privacy policy. Except for Section 16, Arbitration and Class Action Waiver, Activision reserves the right to modify this agreement at any time by any means, including, without limitation, by 1. Posting the modifications to http://support.activision.com/license and/or 2. Requiring you to click to accept the agreement, and your continued use of the program constitutes your acceptance of the modifications. Oh, so when you release this game at first without any microtransactions in, this is us agreeing that it was fine for you to do that. I see now. Well, if any future modifications to the agreement are unacceptable to you or cause you to no longer be in compliance with this agreement, you must terminate and immediately stop using the program. If any future modifications are implemented as a click to accept agreement, you may not be able to continue using the program unless you affirmatively accept the modified agreements. I see. Okay, well, that's good to know. 1. Services and additional terms of service. Use of certain features of the program, including online or multiplayer components or updated features, may require assent to additional terms of service. Oh, please, more legalese. You will be provided with these additional terms of service at the time the applicable features are made available to you. If you do not assent to the additional terms of service, you may not be able to access or use the additional features that are subject to the additional terms of service. 2. Limited use license. Subject to any system requirements, Activision grants you the non-exclusive, non-transferable, limited right and license to install and use one copy of the software components of the program solely for your personal use. All rights not specifically granted are reserved by Activision. The program is licensed, not sold, for your use. Your license confers no title or ownership in the program and should not be construed as a sale of any rights in the program. Alright, I don't own my game, that's what I'm taking from that. This agreement shall also apply to patches or updates you may obtain for the program, unless that patch or update is accompanied by additional terms. You acknowledge and agree that, other than license granted to you by this agreement, you shall have no ownership or property interest in any product or service provided content, as defined below, including, without limitation, online accounts, any virtual currency or goods, and you further acknowledge and agree that the fullest extent permitted by applicable law, I'm terrible at that word, I apologise, applicable law, all rights in and to such products and service provided content are and shall forever be owned by and inure to the benefit of Activision. All for Activision, none for you, all hail Activision. For residents outside North America, for the avoidance of doubt, nothing in Section 2 shall limit your right to sell and transfer the physical media containing the program which you have rightfully purchased. Goodness gracious, I'm so sorry, Americans, that none of you are allowed to own this video game. That Activision has the right to bust into your house, wrench the game out of your hand, and kick you in the teeth before leaving. I actually own my game, apparently, and I'm allowed to share it with people. Like, you know, a toy, which is what it is. Anyway. 3. License conditions. This license is subject to the following limitations. License limitations. Ooh, nice snappy term you've got there. Any use of the program in violation of the license limitations, it could be the name of a its own IP, couldn't it? Will result in an immediate termination of your license, and continued use of the program will be an infringement of Activision's copyrights and other rights in and to the program. You agree that you will not do or allow any of the following. 1. Exploit the program commercially. 2. Subject to any system requirements, use of the program on more than one system at the same time. Seems hard considering I'm playing off a disc. Pretty sure you can't saw a disc in half and play it on 2 different systems, but what do I know? I'm no tech wizard. 3. Make copies of the program in whole or in part. Don't copy that floppy. 4. Without limiting the foregoing clause. 3. Copy the program onto a hard drive or any other storage device unless the program itself makes a copy during installation, or unless you are downloading the program from an authorized Activision online retailer. 5. Use the program in a network, multi-user arrangement, or remote access arrangement, including any online use, except as included in the program functionality. 6. Sell, rent, lease, license, distribute, or otherwise transfer the program. 7. Subject to applicable laws. I think I said it right that time. Reverse engineer, derive source code, modify, decompile, disassemble, or create derivative works of the software and other proprietary technology in the program, in whole or in part. 8. Create, develop, modify, distribute, or use any unauthorized software programs to gain advantage in any offline, online, or multiplayer game modes. Such behavior will be subject to sanction at Activision's discretion. That's the first part of the EULA I'm actually okay with. Don't hack the game and cheat online. I respect that. Thank you for telling everyone not to do the thing which we all universally know that we shouldn't be doing, hence the term cheating. 9. Remove, disable, or circumvent any proprietary notices or labels contained on or within the program. Or 10. Export or re-export the program in violation of any applicable laws or regulations of the United States government. Again, much of this EULA does not pertain to me here in the UK, making me wonder how many of these 43 pages are actually necessary for me to read. Regardless, I shall read the entire EULA in fear that I accidentally step on Big Daddy Activision's toes. Unless expressly permitted by Activision and subject to applicable local laws, you agree not to permit this software. Excuse me, I'm just gonna have a quick drink there. My throat's actually getting a little bit dry from reading this EULA. Continuing on, you agree not to permit the software in the peripheral or any part of it to be combined with, become incorporated in, or used with any software product other than the program. All rights granted to you under this agreement, including your use of the software in the peripheral, will terminate immediately in the event that you are in breach of any of the terms. This paragraph, or do anything with any software in the peripheral that is not expressly permitted by this agreement. You agree not to do any of the following actions while using the program. A. Harass, threaten, embarrass, or cause distress or discomfort upon another participant, user, or other individual or entity. Why would you have this EULA here and not when you sign up for the online for the first time? I could just be playing the single player here, and I think I'm allowed to harass, threaten, and bully Penta the penguin, and Polar the polar bear, and all of the other polar-based characters. I really hate cartoon animals from the Antarctic is the thing. Anyway. B. Transmit any UGC, as defined in Section 14, that Activision considers to be disruptive, unlawful, harmful, threatening, abusive, harassing, defamatory, vulgar, obscene, hateful, or racially, sexually, ethnically, or otherwise objectionable. C. Impersonate any person or entity, including but not limited to Activision. D. Disrupt normal program functionality, or otherwise act in a manner that negatively affects other participants and/or the overall program experience. E. Post or transmit any unsolicited advertising, promotional materials, or any other forms of solicitation. How are you doing this online in a kart racer? Are you modifying your cart so it's bright red and says drink Coke on it? How do you pull that off? F. Intentionally or unintentionally violate any applicable law, leading into it, regulation or treaty while using or accessing the program. G. Post multiple posts of the same content, i.e. spam. Or H. Invade the privacy or violate or infringe any right of any person or entity, including, without limitation, any intellectual property rights. Parents and guardians of children under the age of majority in their jurisdiction, or 18 years of age, whichever is older, agree that you will be responsible for all uses of the program by your child, whether or not such uses were authorized by you. Right, don't be a dick online, and if you're a kid being a dick online, that's on your parents. Okay. Whew, I feel like you could crunch this down to short, simple sentences, but very well. 4. Ownership. Oh, here's the juicy stuff. All title, ownership rights, and intellectual property rights in and to the program are owned by Activision, affiliates of Activision, or Activision's licensors. The program is protected by the copyright laws of the United States of America, international copyright treaties, conventions, and other laws. The program may contain certain licensed materials, and Activision's licensors may protect their rights in the event of any violation of this agreement. Notwithstanding anything to the contrary, you acknowledge and agree that you shall have no ownership or other property interest in any account stored or hosted on an Activision system. And you further acknowledge and agree that all rights in and to these accounts are and shall forever be owned by and inure to the benefit of Activision. All hail Daddy Activision. Activision may suspend, terminate, modify, or delete any of these accounts at any time, for any reason or no reason, with or without notice to you. That seems extreme, deleting somebody's account for no reason without noticing them, but I guess we agree to that, so do as you will, Daddy Activision, spank me harder, why don't you? 5. Patches and updates. Activision may deploy or provide mandatory patches, updates, and modifications to the program, putting in gambling into the children's game for the children to enjoy, that must be installed for you to continue to use the program. Activision may update the program remotely without notifying you, and you hereby grant to Activision consent to deploy and apply such patches, updates, and modifications. Broadband internet is required for such patches, updates, and modifications. Sorry, dial-up users, get that AOL shit out of here. You are responsible for any and all broadband access and usage fees. Okay, to play the games online, I need internet. That is good to know. Number 6, limited hardware warranty, residents in North America and Australia only. This doesn't apply to me, but I will read it regardless, because who knows, there may be a caveat or something in there somewhere. 6A, Activision warrants to the original consumer purchase of this program that the physical media on which this program is stored and any physical accessories, together the goods, will be free from defects in material and workmanship for 90 days from the date of purchase. If the goods are found defective within 90 days of original purchase, Activision agrees to replace, free of charge, the applicable defective goods within the applicable 90-day periods. Upon its receipt of the program, postage paid with proof of the date of purchase, so long as the goods are still being manufactured by Activision. If the goods... Sounds like you're alluding to drugs, are no longer available, Activision retains the right to substitute similar goods of equal or greater value. This warranty is limited to that good kush as originally provided by Activision and is not applicable to normal wear and tear. This warranty shall not be applicable and shall be void if the defect has arisen through abuse, mistreatment, or neglect. Any implied warranties prescribed by statute are expressly limited to the 90-day period described above. Except as set forth herein, this warranty is in lieu of all other warranties, express or implied. For residents in North America, also not applying to me, but I shall continue. For information about warranty replacement or other customer service inquiries, call 310-255-2000 in North America. Or if you prefer to not call, please visit http://support.activision.com. If a replacement is appropriate, you will need to return 1. The original goods. 2. A copy of your dated sales receipt. 3. Your name and return address. 4. A description of the defect and the problems you are encountering. And 5. The incident/RMA number given to you by customer support. In the United States, send to Warranty Replacements, Activision Publishing Incorporated, 100 North Sepulveda Boulevard, Suite 900, El Segundo, California, 90245. Outside of the United States, see, I knew it would all come through in the end, it applies to me here. Please visit http://support.activision.com. For residents of Australia, very, strong focus on Australia here. All the more power to you, Australia. This warranty is provided in addition to other rights and remedies you may have regarding the good shits provided to you in this game bundle under the Australian consumer law. The raw unfiltered cocaine come with guarantees that cannot be excluded under the Australian consumer law. You are entitled to replace or refund for a major failure and compensation for any other reasonably foreseeable loss or damage. You are also entitled to have the wacky tobacco repaired and replaced if the drugs fail to be of acceptable quality and the failure does not amount to a major failure. Please contact Activision on 1300 748 995 or email ausupport@activision.com or mail PO Box 544 Piermont, NSW 2009, Australia. If you have an issue with the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds provided to you in this game bundle, if a replacement or repair is required, Activision will instruct you on the process. As part of the process, you may be asked to send 1. The physical media, for example, CD-ROM, DVD/DVD/Blu-ray disc/cartridge, not including manual or case. This game is only released on CD, so I don't know why they had to clarify all of those, but carrying on. In protective packaging. 2. The accessory. 3. Photocopy of your dated sales receipt. 4. Your name and return address typed or clearly printed. 5. A brief note describing the defect, the problem or problems you are encountering, and the system on which you are running the software. And 6. The incident number given to you by customer support. You may be required to also send a check or money order, but if your claim is determined to be valid, you may be entitled to a refund of this amount. Unless otherwise directed by customer support, please send items to be replaced, registered mail recommended, to Limited Physical, Media / Peripheral Warranty Replacements, Activision Blizzard Australia, Pty Limited. PO Box 544, Piedmont, NSW, 2009, Australia. The provisions of the limitation of damages clause below apply only to the extent permitted by the Competition and Consumer Act 2010. CTH. CEIF. Not sure what that is referring to.
Just do what you know is right.
6B. Limited hardware warranty. Residents of all countries other than North America and Australia only. I fall into that category. The warranty for the program is provided in accordance with your statutory rights as a consumer, which will always prevail. How inspiring, how heroic. For information about Activision's procedures on the replacements of the program in the European Union, well, about that, and other countries outside of North America and Australia, or other customer service inquiries, please check http://support.activision.com. God, I play video games to get away from Brexit, and here it comes for me. 7. Limitation of damages. 7A. For residents in North America. Activision shall not be liable for special, incidental, or consequential damages resulting from possession, use, or malfunction of the program, including damages to property, computer failure or malfunction, and, to the extent permitted by law, damages for personal injuries, even if Activision has been advised of the possibility of these damages. I'm sorry, I need to stop and just compartmentalize this. Is Activision saying it's not going to be liable if the video game hurts you? Is that what they're suggesting? Activision's liability shall not exceed the actual price paid for the license to use the program. Some states/countries do not allow limitations on how long an implied warranty lasts and/or the exclusion or limitation of damages, so the above limitations and/or exclusions may not apply to you. This warranty gives you specific legal rights, and you may have other rights which vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. 7B. For residents outside North America. Nothing in this agreement shall limit or exclude Activision's liability to you for death or personal injury caused by your negligence. Nothing in this agreement gets us out of hot water if we accidentally kill you with the video game. If you throw a TNT box in the game and it reverse Captain ends itself into real life and blows up your house, we'll cover that. We'll compensate you for that. Okay. I'm sure that's there because it has to be there as part of the EULA. For fraudulent misrepresentation or for any other liability that may not, under the laws of the jurisdiction where you reside, be limited or excluded. I'm sorry, just to go back one more time. This is just for residents outside North America. So if you're in North America, Activision is allowed to kill you. They're allowed to murder you, it's fine. Over here, the EULA doesn't cover them, but over there, Big Daddy Activision, he's out for blood. Okay. For any other liability that may not, under the laws of jurisdiction where you reside, be limited or excluded. Subject to this, in no event shall Activision be liable to you for any business losses or any liability Activision does have for losses you suffer is strictly limited to losses that were reasonably foreseeable and shall not, in aggregate, exceed the greater of the following: the total price paid by you for the program, plus any paid for service provided content under the previous 12 months from the date on which the liability arises, or the sum of 500 Great British Pounds or equivalent amount under the current foreign exchange rates. 8. Termination. Without prejudice to any other rights of Activision, This agreement will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with its terms and conditions. In the event of termination for this reason... Oh, silly me, I went back to the beginning. Let me get back to where we were. In the event of termination for this reason, you must destroy all copies of the program and all of its component parts. You hear that? So, if you get banned from this game, it's your responsibility to round up every single copy of Crash Team Racing that's ever been released and destroy them all without prejudice. Even if that means stealing the copies of the game from other users, they must all be purged. So, such is the agreement. You may also terminate the agreement at any time by permanently deleting any installation of the program and destroying all copies of the program in your possession or control. The following provisions shall What the Wait. Why would L2 take me back to the beginning? R2 doesn't take me to the end. It just gives you the option to go back to the very beginning. Yet the first page. That seems like an oversight. The following provisions shall survive termination of this agreement. License conditions, Section 3. Ownership, Section 4. Limited hardware warranty, Section 6A and 6B. Limitation of damages, Sections 7A and 7B. Termination, Section 8. Indemnity, Section 10. Service provided content, Section 11. Availability, Section 12. Access, Section 13. Binding arbitration and class action waiver, Section 16. Jurisdiction and applicable law, Section 17. And miscellaneous, Section 18. 9. For residents in North America, US government restricted rights. This program has been developed entirely at private expense and are provided as commercial computer software, or restricted computer software. Use, duplication, or disclosure by the US government or a US government subcontractor is subject to the restrictions set forth in subparagraph C1(2) of the Rights in Technical Data and Computer Software clauses in DFARS 252.227.7013, or as set forth in subparagraph C1 and 2 of the Commercial Computer Software Restricted Rights clauses at FAR 52.227.19, as applicable. The contractor manufacturer is Activision Publishing Incorporated, 3100 Ocean Park Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90405. Okay, thanks for letting us know about that. I definitely needed to know about the US government before playing my baby game. 10. For residents in North America, indemnity. You agree to indemnify, defend, and hold Activision, its partners, affiliates, licensors, contractors, officers, directors, employees, and agents harmless from all damages, losses, and expenses arising directly or indirectly from your breach of this agreement and or your acts and omissions in using the program pursuant to the terms of this agreement. Okay. 11. Service provided content. Service provided content consists of all virtual materials, information, and content provided to you, for example, unlockable content, accounts, stats, virtual assets, virtual currencies, codes, achievements, virtual rewards, credits, access shows, tokens, coins, power-ups, and customizations in connection with your use of the program, including the online services which you need to earn, grind, buy, and or purchase in order to obtain additional content. Very strange that you put buy and purchase in quotes, because I'm pretty sure when you pay for a transaction and your money ends up with Activision, that is, by definition, a purchase or a buy. But what do I know? While the program may allow you to earn, grind, buy, or purchase service-provided content within or in connection with gameplay, you do not in fact own or have any property interest in the service-provided content. The microtransaction content you buy is not yours, it's ours. And the price of any service-provided content does not refer to any credit balance of real currency or its equivalent. This is how we get away with letting children gamble. Unless otherwise specified in writing, any service-provided content that you receive is licensed to you as set forth herein, and you shall have no ownership rights thereto in any service-provided content. You may not sell, lend, rent, trade, or otherwise transfer any service-provided content, except for other service-provided content where applicable. Any sale of service-provided content, including, but not limited to, virtual currency for real money, or exchange of those items or virtual currency for value outside of the program, is prohibited. You're really trying to cover yourself for the whole exploitative gameplay mechanics, right? Well, service-provided content may be altered, removed, deleted, or discontinued by Activision, for example, upon termination of this agreement, and/or cessation of online support for the program, as set out in Section 8. Even if you have not used or consumed the service-provided content prior to alteration, removal, deletion, or discontinuation, we have the right to literally take your money from you. Without limiting the above, service-provided content may include virtual coins, points, or other virtual currencies. Virtual currency. In case you didn't know what virtual currency was, it is virtual currency. By purchasing or otherwise acquiring virtual currency, you obtain a limited license, which is revocable by Activision at any time unless otherwise required by applicable laws, to access and select from other service-provided content. Virtual currency has no monetary value, although we will charge you money for it, and does not constitute currency or property of any type. Which does make you wonder why we're charging you for it with real money, but what do we know? Virtual currency may not be redeemed or for other service-provided content, only if at all. Subject to applicable local law, virtual currency is non-refundable. You are not entitled to a refund or any other compensation, such as service-provided content, for any unused virtual currency, and unused virtual currency is non-exchangeable. Activision may revise the pricing for the service-provided content and virtual currency offered through the program at any time. So we could charge you for the crash bucks, the Wumpa coins, or whatever they are, and then just boost the prices of everything. So you have to buy more Wumpa coins to match those prices, otherwise you lose them and you lost your money for nothing. Seems like a good deal you've got going on here. Lovely. Activision may revise the pricing for content. Activision may limit the total amount of service-provided content or virtual currency that may be purchased at one time, and/or limit the total amount of service-provided content or virtual currency that may be held in your accounts in the aggregates. You are only allowed to purchase service-provided content or virtual currency from Activision, and our authorized partners through the program are not in any other way. Activision reserves the right to refuse your request or requests to acquire service-provided content and/or virtual currency. But why would they? They're making money off of it. You agree that you will be solely responsible for paying any applicable taxes related to the acquisition of, use of, or access to the service-provided content and/or virtual currency. I can't wait to do more taxes, because if there's one thing I love, it's sitting there and painstakingly going through documents. There may be service-provided content should you choose to purchase it. There is. You patched it into the game after launch in an incredibly dodgy move, which will require you to make a payment with real money. the amount of which will be set out in the program. All service-provided content will be made available immediately when you purchase it with real money, and you acknowledge that this is the case and that you'll have no right to change your mind and cancel, sometimes known as cooling off, right? I'm sorry, did you just break the... Did you break kayfabe for a moment? That is so informal in comparison to the rest of this agreement. Once your purchase is complete, depending on your platform, any service-provided content purchased will be purchased from your platform provider, and such purchase will be subject to their respective terms of service and user agreement. Please check usage rights for each purchase, as these may differ from item to item. Unless otherwise shown, content available in any in-game store has the same age rating as the game. Interesting. Although age ratings are subject to change based on games that have gambling in them, so I guess this doesn't apply to you, Activision, just the players. 12. Availability. 12A. For residents in North America, Activision does not guarantee that any online services, play, or features associated with the program, collectively, online services, or service-provided content, will be available at all times, or at any given time, or that Activision will continue to offer online services or service-provided content for any particular length of time. If this game's bombing, we can absolutely just ditch all support for it, is what you're saying here. Activision may change and update online services or service-provided content without notice to you. Activision makes no warranty or representation regarding the availability of online services, and reserves the right to modify or discontinue online services in its sole discretion without notice, including, for example, ceasing an online service for economic reasons due to a limited number of users continuing to make use of the online service over time. Notwithstanding anything to the contrary, you acknowledge and agree that online services may be terminated in whole or in part as Activision's sole discretion without notice to you and in connection with online services termination. Any and all service-provided content licensed to you may be terminated. You assume any and all risk of loss associated with the termination of online services and any loss of service-provided content or otherwise. We could take all of the things that we've charged you for away from you, deal with it. 12B. For residents outside North... Oh, I lost it all for a second there. 12B. For residents outside North America, subject to the next sentence, Activision does not guarantee that any online services or service-provided content will be available or error-free at all times or at any given time. We may not even... Our online just might not work. Tough. Activision warrants that the program, in addition to any service... Okay. I did not touch one of the triggers there. I'm not sure why it's flitting back and forth like that. Oh, okay, no, I can move the page with my actual left stick. That was the confusion. Anyway, carrying on. I really should have read the bottom of the screen. I'm reading everything else. Where was I? Activision may change or update without notice to you. Provided always that any such changes do not result in material degradation in the functionality of the program or any service-provided content which has been paid for with real money. Okay, so they are promising that if you buy some, you do at least get to keep it. Although, you know, when the online servers are down, there will be no game for you to wear your costumes in. Unless you want to wear them in the single player, anyway. Activision makes no warranty or representation regarding the availability of online services and or service-provided content which are free, i.e. not paid for with real money, and reserves the right to modify or discontinue them in its sole discretion, without notice to you, including, for example, for economic reasons due to a limited number of users continuing to make use of them over time. Activision is not liable or responsible for any failure to perform or delay in performance of any of its obligations that is caused by events outside its reasonable control. If such circumstances result in material degradation of the functionality of the program or service provided content, then your obligation to make any payment to download, use, or access them will be suspended for the duration of such period. Activision is entitled to modify or discontinue online services and or service provided content which are paid for with real money. Okay, no, it can take things away from you. Sorry about saying otherwise earlier. In its sole discretion upon reasonable notice to you. Oh, they can do it, but they have to let you know. I see. The warranty for such online services and or service provided content is provided in accordance with your statutory rights as a consumer, which will always prevail. Please see Section 7 in respect of Activision's limitation on damages, but nothing in this paragraph shall affect your statutory rights. And why did you read them to us? Anyway, 13. Access. You are solely responsible for any third-party costs you incur to use the program and services. You acknowledge and agree that you will provide at your own cost and expense the equipment, internet, and other connection charges required to access and use the program. Are you making me agree that I have to pay for the PS4 that I'm playing this on? Because I already have and am. That's how I'm reading this off of the PS4. Well, okay. Anyway, Activision makes no warranty that the program can be accessed or used on all systems, controllers, or devices by means of any specific internet or other connection provider, or in all territories. The program may be integrated into, or be provided in connection with third-party services and content. Activision does not control those third-party services and content. You should read the terms of use agreements and privacy policies that apply to such third-party services and content. Oh boy, more reading. 14. User-generated content. The program may include means by which you and other users may share user-generated content, UGC, to the fullest extent permitted by applicable law. By submitting any UGC, you automatically grant or represent and warrant that the owner of such rights has expressly granted Activision a perpetual, worldwide, royalty-free, irrevocable, non-exclusive right and license to use, reproduce, modify, adapt, publish, translate, sub-license, create derivative works from, and distribute such UGC, or incorporate such UGC content into any form, medium, or technology now known or later developed through the universe, and agree... I love that wording. And agree that Activision shall be entitled to unrestricted use of the UGC for any purpose whatsoever, commercial or otherwise, without compensation, but subject to applicable local legislation, notice or attribution. If you make anything in this game, if you are in any way creative and create something within this game, it's ours now, not yours. Get out. You waive and agree not to assert against Activision or any of its partners, affiliates, subsidiaries, or licensees any moral or similar rights you may have in any of your UGC. To the extent that the program permits other users to access and use your UGC, you also grant such users the right to use, copy, modify, display, perform, create derivative works from, and otherwise communicate and distribute your UGC on or through the program, without further notice, attribution, or compensation to you. You waive all rights to anything you make. You may only upload your own UGC to the program. Do not upload anyone else's UGC. Activision reserves the right, but has no obligation, to remove, block, edit, move, or disable UGC for any reason in Activision's sole discretion. Activision is not responsible for and does not endorse or guarantee the opinions, views, advice, or recommendations posted or sent by other users. This section of this EULA also appeared in, I believe it was the remake of Warcraft. And people absolutely lost their shit because they were basically saying, essentially saying, hey, remember when Dota happened? Remember when that fan-made Warcraft mod got really popular and made money on its own. No, no more of that, please. So, gotta love it. No, wait, I just remembered. Warcraft 3 Reforged, that's the one. For residents of all countries outside North America, oh thank goodness, finally I'm being catered to again. Users of the program create, upload, download, and use UGC at their own risk. If you upload or make available to other users your UGC via our program, we do not control, monitor, endorse, or own your UGC, and you are commissioning us to host and make available such UGC subject to the above license. Complaints about the content of any UGC must be sent to legalaffairs@activision.com and must contain details of the specific UGC giving rise to the complaint. Wait, so here in the UK, we own our own things that we make? Is it just in America? Is it just North Americans who lose all rights to their property? Oh my god. Boom. Victory. How's that independence taste now, motherfuckers? Anyway, 15. For residents in North America, copyright notice. If you believe that any content appearing in the program and or UGC has been copied in a way that constitutes copyright infringement, please forward the following information to the copyright agent named below. Your copyright infringement notification must comply with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA. You are encouraged to review 17 USC 512 C3 or consult with an attorney prior to sending a notice hereunder. To file a copyright infringement notice, you'll need to send a written communication that includes the following to the address listed below. A. Your name, address, telephone number, and email address. B. A description of the copyrighted work that you claim has been infringed. C. The exact URL or a description of where the alleged infringing material is located. D. A statement by you that you have a good faith belief that the disputed use is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. E. An electronic or physical signature of the person authorized to act on behalf of the owner of the copyright interest. And F. Statement by you, under penalty of perjury, that the above information in your notice is accurate and that you are the copyright owner or authorized to act on the copyright owner's behalf. That is basic bitch knowledge about DMCA claims, but whatever. Copyright agent, Activision Publishing Incorporated, 3100 Ocean Park Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90405. Attention of Activision Business and Legal Affairs. Fax 310-255-2152. Email legalaffairs@activision.com. Please note that the DMCA provides that you may be liable for damages, including costs and attorney fees, if you knowingly if you knowingly misrepresent that material or activity is infringing. Please also note that the information provided in your copyright infringement notice may be provided to the person responsible for the allegedly infringing material. Time to clear my throat and have a drink. For residents in North America, binding arbitration and class action waiver. Read this section carefully. It may significantly affect your legal rights, including your right to file a lawsuit in court. These binding arbitration and class action waiver provisions apply to you if you are domiciled in and or acquired and use the program in the United States. I do not, but go off, I guess. These provisions may also apply to you if you are domiciled in and or acquired and use the program from outside the United States. See jurisdiction and applicable law below for details. Initial dispute resolution. Activision's customer support department is available by phone 310-255-2000 or on the web at https://support.activision.com to address any concerns you may have regarding the program. Most concerns are quickly resolved in this manner to our customers' satisfaction. The parties shall use their best efforts to settle any dispute, claim, question, or disagreement directly through consultation and good faith negotiations, which shall be a precondition to either party initiating a lawsuit or arbitration. Binding arbitration. If the parties do not agree If the parties do not reach an agreed upon solution within a period of 30 days from the time informal dispute resolution is pursued, pursuant to the paragraph above, then either party may initiate binding arbitration as the sole means to formally resolve claims, subject to the terms set forth below. Specifically, all claims arising out of or relating to this agreement, including its interpretation, formation, performance, and breach, the parties' relationship with each other, and or your use of the program shall be finally settled by binding arbitration administered by Jams. Who's my cool uncle? Cool Uncle Jams. In accordance with the provisions of its comprehensive arbitration rules or streamlined arbitration rules, as appropriate, excluding any rules or procedures governing or permitting class actions. This arbitration provision is made pursuant to a transaction involving interstate commerce, and the Federal Arbitration Act, the FAA, shall apply to the interpretation, applicability, enforceability, and formation of this agreement, notwithstanding and other choice of law provision contained in this agreement. The arbitrator, and not any federal, state, or local court or agency, shall have exclusive authority to resolve all disputes arising out of or relating to the interpretation, applicability, enforceability, or formation of this agreement, including, without limitation, any claims that all or any part of this agreement is void or voidable, or whether a claim is subject to arbitration. The arbitrator shall be empowered to grant whatever relief would be available in a court under law or in equity. The arbitrator's award shall be binding on the parties and may be entered as a judgment in any court of competent jurisdiction. The Jams rules. Jams rules is what my cool uncle likes to graffiti on walls. Governing the arbitration may be accessed at http://www.jamsadr.com or by calling Cool Uncle Jams at 800 352 5267. Your arbitration fees and your share of arbitrator compensation shall be governed by the Cool Uncle Jam comprehensive arbitration rules, but shall not incorporate the Jams class action procedures and, to the extent applicable, the consumer minimum standards, including the then current limit on arbitration filing fees. To the extent the filing fee for the arbitration exceeds the cost of filing a lawsuit, Activision will pay the additional cost. How kind and considerate of them. The parties understand that, absent this mandatory provision, they would have the right to sue in court and have a jury trial. They further understand that, in some instances, the cost of arbitration could exceed the costs of litigation, and the rights to discovery may be more limited in arbitration than in court. So don't try to sue us, it ain't worth it. Location. If you are a resident of the United States, arbitration will take place at any reasonable location within the United States convenient for you. For residents outside the United States, arbitration shall be initiated in Los Angeles County, California, and you and Activision agree to submit to the personal jurisdiction of any federal or state court in Los Angeles County, California, in order to compel arbitration, to stay proceedings pending arbitration, or to confirm, modify, vacate, or enter judgment on the award entered by the arbitrator. Class action waiver. The parties further agree that any arbitration shall be conducted in their individual capacities only and not as a class action or other representative action, and that the parties expressly waive their right to file a class action or seek relief on a class basis. You and Activision agree that each may bring claims against the other only in your or its individual capacity and not as a plaintiff or class member in any purported class or representative proceeding. I have no idea what any of this means. If any court or arbitrator determines that the class action waiver set forth in this paragraph is void or unenforceable for any reason, or that an arbitration can proceed on a class basis, then the arbitration provision set forth above shall be deemed null and void in its entirety, and the parties shall be deemed to have not agreed to arbitrate disputes. Exception: litigation of intellectual property and small claims court claims. Notwithstanding the party's decision to resolve all disputes through arbitration, either party may bring an action in state or federal court that only asserts claims for patent infringement or invalidity, copyright infringement, moral rights violations, trademark infringement, and or trade secrets misappropriation, but not, for clarity, claims related to the license granted to you for the program under this agreement. Either party may also seek relief in a small claims court for disputes or claims within the scope of that court's jurisdiction. 30 days right to opt out. You have the right to opt out and not be bound by the arbitration and class action waiver provisions set forth in the binding arbitration, location, and class action waiver paragraphs above by sending written notice of your decision to opt out to the following address: Activision Publishing Incorporated, 3100 Ocean Park Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90405 3032. Attention of legal. The notice must be sent within 30 days of purchasing the program, or if no purchase was made, then within 30 days of the date on which you first access or use the program and agree to these terms. Otherwise, you shall be bound to arbitrate disputes in accordance with the terms of those paragraphs. If you opt out of these arbitration provisions, Activision will also not be bound by them. Changes to this section. Activision will provide 60 days notice of any changes to this section. Changes will become effective on the 60th day and will apply prospectively only to any claims arising after the 60th day. 17. Jurisdiction and applicable law. Well, have fun saying that. The program is made available subject to the terms of this agreement. If you acquired and used the program from A, for residents in the United States, Mexico, or Canada, then you are contracting with Activision Publishing Incorporated, 3100 Ocean Park Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90405-3032, and any claims arising out of this agreement, including interpretation, claims for breach, and all other claims, including consumer protection, unfair competition, and tort claims. I'm not sure what tort claims are, but they sound delightful. They sound delicious. I would like the tort claim for dessert, please. Will be subject to the laws of the state of Delaware without reference to conflict of laws principles. Okay, I did read that correctly the first time. If any courts or arbitrator determines that the class action waiver paragraph set forth above is void or unenforceable for any reason, or that an arbitration can proceed on a class basis, then any and all claims arising out of this agreement, including interpretation, claims for breach, and all other claims, including consumer protection, unfair competition, and those delicious tort claims, shall be decided under the laws of the state where you were a citizen at the time you obtained or brought the program that was subject to this agreement. In addition, you and we irrevocably consent to the exclusive jurisdiction and venue of state or federal courts in Los Angeles County, California, to resolve any claims that are subject to exceptions to the Oh, ready to install, thank goodness. Good stuff. Exception to the arbitration agreement described in binding arbitration and class action waiver above, or otherwise determined not to be arbitrable. I've never seen the word arbitrable written down, nor have I tried saying it out loud. Arbitrable. B. For residents in the European Union, again, I don't know if that applies to me anymore. I mean, we've got days left until Brexit finally kicks in, and then we really are royally fucked. But for residents in the European Union, then you are contracting with Activision Blizzard International BV, formerly known as Cooperative Activision Blizzard International UA of Beach Avenue, 131119RB, Schiphol, Rijke, Netherlands. I'm sure I mispronounced that. And the laws of England and Wales govern the interpretation of this agreement and apply to claims for breach of it without reference to conflict or of laws principles. That always looks wrong. All other claims, including claims regarding consumer protection laws, unfair competition laws, and in delicious tort, will be subject to the laws of the European Union country. For example, the United Kingdom, I guess this does apply to us, the French Republic, or the Federal Republic of Germany, in which you acquired and used the program. In addition, with respect to jurisdiction, you may choose either the courts of the country, for example the United Kingdom, the French Republic, or the Federal Republic of Germany, in which you acquired and used the program, or in the alternative, the courts of England or Wales, or other courts as applicable under the Brussels Regulation EC 44/2001. For residents in Australia or Japan, then you are contracting with Activision Blizzard International BV, formerly known as Cooperative Activision Blizzard International UA of Beach Avenue 131119RB, Schiphol, Rijke, Netherlands, and the laws of Australia govern the interpretation of this agreement and apply to claims for breach of it, without reference to conflicts of laws principles. All other claims, including claims regarding consumer protection laws, unfair competition laws, and in delightful sweet tort, will be subject to the laws of the country in which you acquired and used the program, being either Australia or Japan, to the extent permitted by applicable law. You agree to the jurisdiction of the courts of New South Wales, Australia. There's a New South Wales in Australia? Oh, take that, South Wales. You have been obsoleted. That's what you get. D, for residents in the rest of the world. Everywhere else on the planet Earth and in the universe. If you acquired and used this program from countries other than those listed in sections A, B, and C above, then you do so on your own initiative and are responsible for compliance with the local laws. Why couldn't that have just been for everyone then? Why couldn't we all have just had this disclaimer? If and to the extent local laws are applicable, and you expressly indemnify and hold harmless Activision from any and all claims, loss, injury, damage, or costs arising from your use of the program to the extent permitted by applicable law. No warranty or representation is made by Activision that the program or any use of the program outside of the countries listed in sections A, B, and C above complies with any applicable local law. Furthermore, your use of the program and all claims arising out of or related to the program or this agreement will, to the extent permitted under the applicable law, be subject to the laws of England and Wales, without reference to the conflict of laws principles, and you consent to the jurisdiction of the courts of England and Wales. Why us? Oh, okay. To the fullest extent permitted by applicable law, if any user outside of the United States is entitled to commence and or participate in legal proceedings within the United States, then that user agrees to be bound by the binding arbitration and class action waiver provisions above. Oh my god. Miscellaneous. This agreement is the complete agreement concerning this license between the parties and supersedes all prior agreements and representations between them. If any provision of this agreement is held to be unenforceable, the applicable provision shall be reformed only to the extent necessary to make it enforceable, and the remaining provisions of this agreement shall not be affected except as otherwise expressly provided herein. 19. Supplemental terms. Germany. The following sections below supersede and replace the corresponding sections above for residents in Germany. Germany gets super laws that override everybody else, you see. That's just how Germany works. Modifications of terms. From time to time, Activision may need to amend this agreement, for example to reflect or include new products or services to enhance security for users or because of changes in the law. If Activision makes such a change to this agreement, we'll inform you of the particular changes in advance no later than 30, that is 30, calendar days before such changes come into force, and you shall be deemed to have accepted these changes. 1. Unless you have notified us of your objection to such changes within 30 calendar days from the moment of receipt of notification from us, or 2. If you use the program after the changes have entered into force. In the notification, we will inform you of your right to object, of the applicable notice period, and the legal consequence of a failure to object. The latest version of this agreement will always be available on our website, so we recommend that you check for updates to this agreement each time you use the program. Changes to the agreement shall not affect your accrued rights, shall not substantially disrupt the contractual balance between you and us under this agreement, and shall not have retroactive effect. Service provided content. In addition to the above, the following right of withdrawal shall apply to German residents. If you are a consumer, i.e. a natural, not robotic, not reptilian, not alien, but natural person, who enters into a legal transaction for purposes that predominantly are outside his trade, business or profession, then you shall have a right of withdrawal as set out hereafter. Information concerning the exercise of the right of withdrawal. The right of withdrawal. You have a right to withdraw from any purchase contract within 14 calendar days without giving any reason. The withdrawal period will expire after 14 calendar days from the day of the conclusion of the purchase contract. To exercise the right of withdrawal, you must inform us, Activision Blizzard International BV of Beach Avenue, 131, 1119 RB Schiphol Richt, Netherlands, Schiphol Richt, Netherlands, contact details, available at www.support.activision.com, of your decision to withdraw from a purchase contract by an unequivocal statement. For example, a letter sent by post, fax, or email. You may use the model withdrawal form attached hereafter, but it is not obligatory. To meet the withdrawal deadline, it is sufficient for you to send your communication concerning your exercise of the right of withdrawal before the withdrawal period has expired. Effects of withdrawal: numbness, dizziness, fatigue, incredible craving for alcohol. If you withdraw from the purchase contract, we shall reimburse you all payments received from you under this purchase contract, including the costs of delivery, with the exception of the supplementary costs resulting from your choice of a type of delivery other than the least expensive type of standard delivery offered by us, without undue delay, and in any event not later than 14 calendar days from the day on which we are informed about your decision to withdraw from this purchase contract. We will carry out such reimbursement using the same means of payment as you used for the initial transaction, unless you have expressly agreed otherwise. In any event, you will not incur any fees as a result of such reimbursements. If you requested to begin the performance of services under a purchase contract during the withdrawal period, you shall pay us an amount which is proportion to what has been provided until you have communicated us your withdrawal from that purchase contract in comparison with the full coverage of these services under the purchase contract. Oh my god, we're on the last stretch. I'm so close to paying my racing game, finally. End of the information concerning the exercise of the right to withdrawal. You lose your right of withdrawal insofar as the purchase contract is a service contract. After the service has been fully performed, and if the performance has begun with your prior express consent, and with the acknowledgement that you will lose your right of withdrawal once the service has been fully performed by us. You lose your right of withdrawal insofar as the purchase contract comprises the supply of digital content which is not supplied on a tangible medium if the performance has begun with your prior express consent and your acknowledgement that you thereby lose your right of withdrawal. Based on the aforesaid, you understand that by purchasing service-provided content, you consent that we make available the service-provided content to you directly after we have accepted your order. You will lose your right of withdrawal once the service-provided content has been made fully available to you by us. However, your right of withdrawal is not lost if you purchase virtual goods that are granted to you for a certain period of time. For example, time-limited premium memberships. Basically, no refunds on microtransactions. Once we've got your money, it's ours. Model withdrawal form. Please complete and return this withdrawal form if you wish to withdraw from a contract with us. To Activision Blizzard International BV of Beach Avenue 131119 RB, Schiphol, Rijk, Netherlands. I, or we, hereby give notice that I, or we, withdraw from my or our contract for the purchase of the following goods / the provision of the following services. Ordered / received on... Oh, and we can delete those where appropriate, of course. Name of consumers, we place there. Address of consumers, we place there. Signature of consumers, we put down our signature. Only required if this form is notified on paper, as opposed to screenshot from the screen right now and then scrolled on after the fact. I'm not sure how you would even get this form out of this program, but the last thing it actually needs is the date, and after that, we're done. We're on the last page. Oh my god, I'm so glad we're finally here. Any content purchased in an in-game store will be purchased from the Sony Interactive Entertainment Network Europe Limited, CN, and will be subject to PlayStation Network Terms of Services and User Agreement, which is available on the PlayStation Store. Please check usage rights for each purchase, as these may differ from item to item. Unless otherwise shown, content available for any in-game store has the same age rating as the game. Alright, well, that was a lot to take in. You know, weighing it up, I don't know if I can agree with this, Eula. I think I'll decline. No, this is, you know, that's fine, actually. Well, this has been my LP of Crash Nitro Fuel Car Racing. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, everybody.